Thank you very much for allowing me to be here and for Art inviting me. And I know in the past presentation we had fancy screens and all this movies and all that, but this is going to be a generic presentation. Anyone remember Show Your Age? Dragnet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember, you used to say, just the facts, man. All right. That's what I'm going to review with you. And anyway, one note that I would like to make is last week I was in Iowa, and this was a very historic meeting for Native Americans from across the country. We had 8 presidential candidates come and talk to us, and they were subject to questioning, and they were fairly knowledgeable of Native American issues. And one of the more impressive was Castro and also Bernie. Bernie talked too much. Matter of fact, there were some people who were supposed to ask him questions, but time ran out. So they didn't get a chance to ask him any questions, but they got some good candidates. And as far as Native Americans, they made some promises. And if they do, we're going to go make sure they follow up with it. I feel welcome here. I've been here several times, and I feel like this is my Lions Club, and I really appreciate the hospitality that has been extended to me. And also, I appreciate Mark for inviting me. He didn't get on the phone and call me, or he didn't text me. He came to my office. And while he was talking, I was just wondering, when did I owe him any money? Trying to collect maybe some kind of Mexican mafia to raise my name. I didn't pay attention to it, but he said he was there to invite me to come and speak to the Lions Club. That was good. But I've known Art for a long time, and we had several conversation over a period of time, and maybe you heard the story, but he told me, you know what, Roland said, I was reading, and I was reading that drinking was bad for you. So, oh yeah. So I gave it up. Give him a hand. Give it up. He gave up reading. Well, today I want to give you an update about some of the things that we are concerned with and our community is concerned with. That I would like to make a point that we are involved with trying to protect our the economic development line, which is the gaming, but actually I am not really promoting or pushing. We are a sovereign nation, and as a sovereign nation, we have certain ability to do things, and this is one of them. There are many other sovereignty properties that we have that can be used not only for our community, but sharing with our surrounding community, as we have started to do. Anyway, as you know, the House Bill, House Resolution 759 passed, and this was on June 24th. Remember, June 24th. Now it goes into the Senate as soon as they come back from the recess. And we can never forget to acknowledge the appreciation we have for Brian Babin for sponsoring, and also during the debate we heard from Congressman Bill Hurd, who was also a co-sponsor, and Raul Grivala, chairman of the Natural Resource Committee, where the bill came out of, and Congressman Don Young, they were very eloquent in their support of of our efforts, and it went to a voice vote, and it passed. 3 days later, June 27th, there was a flurry of activity on the part of Mr. Tillman for Tina of Houston, Texas. He's the owner of Landers Incorporated and the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles. So on June 27, he and his wife donated $40,700 and $46,100 to Corning Majority Committee. On June 27, they donated $5,000 apiece to Alamo-PAC Corning Leadership PAC, and also $2,800, both of them, to John Cornyn, and for a total of $102,400. So we got his attention, but it's not, as I said, it's not so much of trying to push gaming. It's our sovereign right to do these things that have been attributed to us. A lot of Indian nations are in the far corners of the world, of our country, and there's no access roads many times. There are miles and miles from any kind of economic endeavors that they can start. Therefore, Congress passed this as an economic development for Native Americans. And all we're doing is exercising our sovereignty by accessing this that has been made available to us. What our approach is to hit the high roads, and also to get to visit all of the different communities. About 3 or 4 years ago, I started out just visiting all the different businesses all over East Texas, and a lot of them were very enthusiastic and supportive of what we were doing, and also some who just flatly said, "Well, I'm against gaming. Okay, have a good day." And but there are a lot of support all over East Texas. I saw it personally because I visited all those businesses. I'm the master of U-turn. I'll be driving along and I see one, oh, I missed that, boy, I make a U-turn. But I was a little bit more careful one time. I didn't realize I was going one-way street and I made a U-turn. It was wide enough where they avoided me. But anyway, we have 2 people, James White and Dr. Behrman, who dug in on our behalf for the cause. And one of our leaders in the country is John Cornyn, and he was the Attorney General who shut us down. So he has a little personal problem for standing up and supporting us. And as we move forward, we were able to talk to him, and our associates talked to him, and he said, I will not sponsor it, I will not stand up and support it, but I will not block it. Well, it's getting to that point now where House Resolution 759 is in the Senate, and he's the senior senator in Congress. So he's the one that has to open the door. So we kind of sitting back wondering how he's going to do it, because by doing that he has to sign off and support. But I think we'll be able to get around that, and but it's moving forward, and so we've come this far. But the other concern is the governor. At one time, while we were deliberating about 2 or 3 years ago, the question was raised, who's watching the governor? Well, he said that this was a federal issue, not a state. So that made a big statement. But at the 11th hour, he sent a letter to to Congress in opposition. So everything was scratched, and we had to start all over again. But we have had good relationship with governors. Two or three I can mention, which is President Smith. He was the governor, and he came and spoke to us. Some of you who were involved in the Chamber of Commerce may remember that he came and spoke to us in that old gym. And we looked around, and then who's going to take him back to the airport in Woodville? And I was it, so I had to take him in our car and had a conversation. I don't remember what we said, but we had a good relationship with John Connolly as well, and we also had a good relationship with President Bush. So, but what the governor is asserting is that we are not under the federal jurisdiction, but we should be under the state of Texas. This operation should be managed by the state of Texas, but we can't because we are a sovereign nation. We can't be subject to the state of Texas. The way we are approaching it, we are getting resolutions passed from the different county commissioners court, and I was going to leave you this one. Can you pass this out a little bit, Art? Yeah. That is a state, and some of the areas that we have gone to, and these are the people, the areas that have passed resolution as a support for our cause. And we have a little over 40 resolutions by Commissioners Court, Chambers of Commerce, and Rotary Club, and I know in Livingston, all of the different ones that have supported us, and I was looking through it, and yeah, there's Livingston Council, Polk County Commissioners Court, Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club, yeah, and then Lions Club. Wait a minute, that's from Cut and Shoot, Texas. So, but anyway, you're covered by the couple of entities in Polk County who has enthusiastically supported the resolution. We also will be supported by the National Congress of American Indians. This is an organization that all federally recognized tribes are members of, and they have a strong voice in Congress. And so we will be getting a resolution, introduce a resolution, and we are sure it'll be passed. Also, the United South and Eastern Tribes, these are tribes from Texas all the way to the East Coast, all the way to Maine. And they are a powerful group of tribal people on reservations. So we are continuing our efforts, and we are beating the bushes. And I know as I speak, our people, Roland Poncho and Roland Poncho, who came here before, they're on the road and seeking resolutions. The notable that we have not been able to receive Angelina County and also Nacogdoches County. And with Angelina County, this is all about economic development. We spent over $1 million buying homes, not from Lufkin. So, but yet their commissioner's court will not pass a resolution, which is okay. We're covered by the Chamber of Commerce and some of the others in those communities. So these are the real group in a way, because they represent economic development, which will push it. So that's, in a nutshell, is where we are. And also the other issue is the litigation by the state of Texas have gone through the court, have gone as far as the Fifth Circuit Court in New Orleans, and we anticipate that they will not support the argument that we have, and it will go to the Supreme Court. But in preparation, we are seeking and have been assured that we will get amicus support from a lot of these entities, all the Indian tribes, as well as major organizations. So we are looking at all different areas to be able to preserve this economic development that has poured in $130 million to East Texas economy and over 600 jobs, 400 on the reservation. So it's beginning to have an impact. And so if you look at that map, the one in green is support. These are the ones that have supported us, have passed resolution of support from the county commissioners. And there are some who are going through the process, trying to get on the agenda, and the pending support, and then also yellow in progress support. So that's where we are. As I started out saying, that this isn't about gaming. This is about protecting our sovereignty. And if we just give it up, we're giving up our sovereignty, chipping away our sovereignty. It is a valuable resource that we have that we can use. So that's about it. That's what I had today. If you all have any questions.
How many people do you employ out there?
Well, while we say on the other side, this side, there's a Park Road 56 come through, and then the other side is the Noskila, and they have on board about 400 employees, and we as a tribal government, we have about 200. So, yes.
So those two U.S. senators from Texas are not in support of your endeavor?
John Cornyn is in a really pickle situation. I think that he would support us, except that he was the Attorney General who pushed to try to shut us down. He did shut us down. So because of that, he can't really contradict himself. So, but in the meantime, we're hoping that he will help us in some way, kind of cool down the governor. Because in a way of speaking, he has said, have you spoken to the governor? Yeah, go to the governor. So that's what we're trying to do. But the governor won't talk to us.
Well, I'll have to talk to him.
Yes.
Is there a connection between Tillman and the governor? Aren't they cousins or something?
What did you say?
Connection between Tillman and the governor.
Money.
Commission?
Mr. Tillman and.
Tillman Ferretti.
Henry, what was the question?
I thought I had read somewhere that Tillman, Coushatta, and the governor are cousins somehow. Is that right?
Were related. He was saying he had heard somewhere where Mr. Tillman, Peter, and the governor were related somewhere in the family. You know anything about that?
No, I don't know anything about that. But, yeah,
What is Senator Cruz's position?
you never know about Cruz. We'll know on that day that he's not in of opposition to us. He has an open door that we can go and talk to him, but he's not one that will stick to in our view, stick to a point.
What's the deadline for the vote? When's the vote supposed to be made?
Well, and we haven't introduced it to the Senate yet. And when they come back from recess, we're ready for them. And hopefully it will be sent to the Senate Indian Affairs Committee right away so that it can come out of the committee and go to the Senate operates totally different from the House. And even one senator can really destroy a vote. And so that's what we're trying to cover up. If there's no more questions, I'll have to make an award at this time. I'd like Art to come up here. Yeah. We encourage you to continue reading. So I brought a book, James Patterson, The Big Bad Wolf.